I'm predicting the future like a psychic. TipOffsNkickoffs, it got me excited. I be placing the bet every Sunday. I'm treating this FanDuel like it's my wife. I'm with Twoods, Mikey. You can hate it or love it or like it. I ain't breaking the sweat while I'm placing the bet, cause these picks I got is fire. TipOffsNkickoffs, baby. TipOffsNkickoffs, TipOffsNkickoffs, baby. TipOffsNkickoffs, TipOffsNkickoffs, baby. TipOffsNkickoffs, TipOffsNkickoffs, baby. TipOffsNkickoffs,
What's up, everybody? Welcome to TipOffsNkickoffs, your favorite podcast here. You know I got to bring the guys with me. What's going on, Mikey?
Not a lot. Just watching our Indiana Pacers tank the rest of the season here. So excited for another game tonight against the Wizards. What's up with you, T?
Man, I'm doing all right. Just been watching some NBA myself since they've been back. I think I watched the worst 3-minute sequence in NBA history with the Raptors and Bulls at the beginning of the second quarter. I don't want to hear anything about WNBA smoking open layups. That boy Grady Dick is trash. He's trash. He's no good. I watched him play last night, and boy, I might be able to get 15 on him. I don't know. But I'm happy to see.
There, huh?
Defense ain't there, but on the brighter side, there were some players that stuck out, had some great games. Kevin Durant, first game back after the whole anonymous secret profile of his and all his sneak dissing that he was doing. Came back, dropped a smooth 35 on great efficiency, and then had the team's last 10 points at the end of the game. So, couple of great moments from last night. Joe, how we doing?
Man, you know I'm straight, man. Seeing all this stuff. Why are we talking about it? What's going on with KD's burner account? Y'all think this is him? Because this isn't his first accusation. He's had burner accounts in the past, man. So what do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's he's not innocent, but let him have his fun, He's got to defend himself a little bit, and he's got to clown on guys, and if he gets caught up doing it, then who's going to talk crazy to him? That's KD,
Right,
who's going to talk crazy?
Joey, play the clip where he says, "I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am."
Nah, I mean, my take on it is like, obviously we know KD is one of the best to ever do it. He's going to go down one of the best players to ever play this game. In my opinion, it's kind of childish, and at the same time, it's funny, but he doesn't need to do it. There's no reason he needs to back himself up and, come at, fans. Because, no matter who you are, everybody has haters. You could be the nicest athlete. You can do the most. I mean, it don't matter. Somebody's going to hate on you. Hell, people hate Patrick Mahomes. He's never slammed in the media for bad stuff. LeBron James, probably the most hated athlete in all time, arguably. I mean, that's just how it goes, man. But what really struck me and really made me think it's KD. So yeah, there's two accounts. So first one was Get Off My Dickerson, funny as shit. And then Get Higher 77, and I could believe that because that man be blowing down. It ain't no secret, man. Everybody knows he be blowing down the Sour D, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of funny, but walking back into that locker room had to be awkward after talking shit to all the teammates. And they're like, oh, damn, this motherfucker. But, hey, nobody on the Rockets could fuck with KD. Let's be real. So,
no.
They
all
say
holding
shit.
His cock strap.
Yeah, straight up. They didn't come at him crazy or nothing, but him saying Jamar Smith Jr. is low-key retarded was kind of crazy, though. I mean, if you don't back yourself up with that, then hey, man, you just
maybe that basketball IQ ain't there, or maybe he's just not very street smart or something. I mean, KD obviously knows a lot more than we do about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, they got all the inside scoop, but shout out to KD, man. KD, you one of the best to ever do it, man. Salute.
Keeping it real, man. And a fellow Redskins fan too, so mad respect.
Straight up. Speaking of the Redskins, Mikey, let's dive into this football, man. What's going on?
Yeah, so a couple things here. It seems like Cam Scattaboo is making some news. Apparently, according to Adam Farrell for the NFL, said that he's looking at possibly retiring. He looks at guys like Antonio Brown and guys that with a lot of concussions, and he's like kind of worried about it. I'm like, well, you kind of run yourself through brick walls for fun. So yeah, mentally, maybe you're not all there. I mean, everybody already thinks he's base retarded. So you know,
Yeah, he runs. It's like he's trying to get the CTE speed run, which is funny but not funny. Obviously, very serious and unfortunate thing, but as well that unfortunately comes with the game. I think as things progress, science evolves. Maybe we can protect the players a bit better, but I don't think Cam is helping himself out too much now. I'm sure there's a lot going through his mind. Big year for him, great and bad. Got drafted, got his chance to shine, and then his season was cut short, unfortunately. So I'm sure when training camp gets a little closer, he'll lock in and find his love for the game again.
yeah, he wants to become a streamer. He wants to do a podcast like we do. So he's got 147,000 followers, and I don't know. What do you think about it, Joey? You think he's got what it takes to just stream and make it just as much as NFL contract?
Definitely not as much of an NFL contract. I mean, I'm not gonna shout. I'm not gonna shoot anybody's dreams down. I mean, him having all those followers would definitely be a good start. Not to mention he has the money for the production and all that stuff. I just think with him getting hurt, he was going on a bunch of different streams and was having fun. And I don't know. I feel like it might have inspired him a little bit. But no, I think that shit would definitely die down. Cause it's like, I mean, he's a big athlete. He has a little fan base, but it's like that ain't gonna run forever. He ain't like huge, unless
Yeah.
he goes viral for saying all the dumb stuff he does. Which some of the stuff I've seen on clips and stuff is pretty funny. But nah, I just think you need to buck up, keep playing football, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, it's just a little setback from the injury, but at the end of the day, you're gonna make
At least get to your
millions.
third year. I think you get a pension after your third year,
Right.
something like that, 3 or 4 years. I can't remember, but at least get there and then talk about it. I mean, have something, in your back pocket.
Yeah. I mean, what do I know? This man's a millionaire compared to me. I ain't shit. But, you stay in the NFL, you get your benefits, get the pension, like you said, get the medical, all that stuff, because he might need it just in case he does get CTE. I ain't wish that on him.
He's gonna need it regardless. I guarantee it. At his rate.
But if that's his concern of not playing, then why play football? Everybody knows the consequences and the possibilities to happen when you play football. A lot of people get CTE. I mean, you're hitting all the time. So I mean, he gonna do what he gotta do. Shout out to you, Camp Scattaboo. But hey man, do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, and the other news from Adam Farrell is that supposedly hasn't been confirmed, but the Colts and Vikings have the framework for a deal with Anthony Richardson in place. So looks like he could be a Viking very shortly. But there's other teams out there that may want to trade for him. But it seems like they have the framework for the deal done. So we'll see. We'll see in the in the next couple of weeks. I think they can't do anything until like March. I want to say 14th as the new calendar year for the NFL. So you won't see anything officially happen until then.
I wonder where this man gets his sources at for him to know all this stuff. Makes me question his credibility. I'm about to do a deep dive on this Adam Farrell cat, man. Because I mean, hey, if he got these connections like that, it's pretty crazy. But
He's the Woj of the NFL, I guess, or I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Shout out to you, Adam Farrell. But if this is actually real, what do you think, Mikey? What do you think about Anthony Richardson going to the Vikings?
Well, you compare him and JJ, and I think JJ's completion percentage was 56%. Anthony Richardson's 50% this last year. They're both great athletes with great arms, but neither one of them's very accurate. So competition is healthy, and it can really bring out a lot in a player. I know Anthony Richardson was working with the same quarterback coach that Josh Allen was working with the last 3 years. So he was supposed to show a lot of improvement, and maybe, I mean, they did say he looked better in camp, but he didn't get to play because Daniel Jones. So you couldn't beat out Daniel Jones. This is what you get, man. So I don't know. T, what do you think? You think it's a good trade for the Vikings?
I don't really understand why they would do it, other than bring in competition. But I'm sure you could save yourself possible draft capital, by not making that trade. To me, it honestly doesn't make too much sense for either sides. To me, if the Vikings were to do so, they would be having a mid-off for their quarterback one position. As you said, both are great athletes with decent arms. Big thing for both of them is injuries. You can't stay healthy. And the Colts situation, everything's up in the air. If they want to bring Daniel Jones back, he's still going to have to sit the whole year. And so if they did that, they would have to either, sign a quarterback or go draft one themselves. Doesn't make too much sense to me.
Yeah, I think Kevin O'Connell really likes him though. So it's maybe he's kind of a quarterback whisperer. He always makes everybody better over there. So we'll see what he can do with them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if that is true, I mean, it would be, like you said, it would be a mid-off. But also, I'm not going to go off Anthony Richardson's stats from last year with the 50% completion, because he played not even a half of football last year, if that. Like JJ played a lot of games. I'm not going to just go based off of Anthony Richardson's stats. But, like I said,
that was his second year, and you got to. I mean, I'm not saying give him a break. He should have progressed more.
Yeah.
But he didn't even get to play this last year because of injuries and Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, I mean, if that's the case, I think they should definitely battle it out. I think it should be held fair. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, is J.J. McCarthy really that good? To people that...
Not good enough to... No, I don't think he is. I mean, he had some terrible stats last year.
Yeah, I mean, and hell, I wouldn't even say everybody in the Minnesota Wild Vikings fan base agrees with it. But everybody that are fans of the University of Michigan will say that J.J. McCarthy's good because they got a national championship. But winning a national championship in college doesn't mean a goddamn thing in the NFL. You're playing with the big boys, man. And yeah, he was hurt his first year, cool, but he didn't do shit this year. So until I start seeing some action out of him, I'm gonna say this man is trash. But
and look, he got hurt again this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, they can't rely on him.
No. Yeah, it's like I said, like winning national championships don't mean shit. Ohio State won the previous year. Where's Will Howard at? Anybody know where he's at? Where's Will Howard?
He's in Pittsburgh.
Back up for the Steelers, I think. Yeah.
He ain't playing though. He won the national championship. He's the number one. He's the number one option. Fernando Mendoza.
You got a Hall of Famer on that team, though.
No, and I understand that.
Hall of Famer, and then Mason Rudolph ahead of him.
Yeah, but him winning a national championship, it didn't produce his draft stock. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But Fernando Mendoza, he's going to be the number one option. But who knows how he's going to pan out? We all hope he pans out good, but we know at the end of the day, going from college to the NFL doesn't mean a goddamn thing. He's going to be working with a whole nother team, whole nother coach.
You need an offensive line. They don't have a line.
Yeah, they don't.
Ashton Genty, he found that out last year. He got hit behind the line more often than he, crossing the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, you got to have that line, man. I mean, that's the key factor. But yeah. Shout out to JJ though. Shout out to Anthony Richardson. If that's true, I hope it's like a fair battle. And if Anthony Richardson stays in Indy, good luck, man. I mean, he has a good shot at playing this year if he stays here, because like I said, Daniel Jones is hurt. Get well soon, man. But yeah, T, what's going on? Who are some other free agents that are that could potentially be on the market?
But there's some big names. George Pickens. I presume that he will get franchise tagged. Although the Cowboys are very prone to do stupid things, as they are the Cowboys. Other big players like Trey Hendrickson. I think the Colts might go after him, but Colts also have a lot of things on their own they have to worry about. Like we said, Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce, another one. Michael Pittman's probably not too far away. I think he's got another year on his contract.
Actually, I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, okay. So Michael Porter, Braden Smith, their right tackle, another one as well. So they've got a lot of things that they have to figure out. I heard that they're gonna possibly disassemble that linebacker room. So, Zaire Franklin may have to find a new home. Unfortunately, he's been great for the Colts. Other players like Kyle Pitts, going down to the NFC South, Kyle Pitts and Mike Evans, probably finding new homes, I would say. Although Kyle Pitts may get franchise tagged, I'd be interested to see what happens with that. As everything hasn't exactly panned out for Kyle Pitts. And then you got some running backs that are hitting the market. Travis Etienne, he had a great year. As that usually happens when someone's about to get that payday. The big contracts coming around, they tend to stand out in their final year. Kenneth Walker just had a fantastic year. He's now a free agent. I wouldn't be surprised to see him move on from the Seahawks and go get that paper. And then outside of current free agents, there are players that are quite upset with the situation that the franchise is going through, or they just haven't been performing well to their own standards, such as A.J. Brown. He was in headlines week in and week out, showing how unhappy he was with how the Eagles' offense was operating. But maybe he stays because they have done some sorting out with their offensive coaching. Kyler Murray, I'm a Saints fan. A year or two ago, I wasn't opposed to the idea of trading for Kyler Murray, although it would have put us in a difficult spot financially, as we are every single year. DJ Moore, his tick seems to have dwindled a little bit with Luther Burden, taking a big step. Colston Loveland's a big part of their offense now. Probably the biggest possible trade coming is Max Crosby. Whoever gets him, they're going to get a monster, and let's say he's going to a championship favorite, not a favorite, but roughly up there in the list. I guarantee he will make that team a favorite. Are there any players you can think of, Mikey, that stuck out to you last year that may be looking for a new home?
Honestly, you covered a lot of them really well, and I just the whole list is great. I do really want to see where Kenneth Walker goes. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not, because he had a great run in the playoffs, and he was obviously very vital to what they did. So I'm really curious to see where he goes. And then all these NFL quarterbacks, you got Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones, and we'll see what Tua does, and then they're talking about Malik Willis possibly going to the Dolphins, and you just don't know what these guys are going to do. Alec Pierce might go to the Bills. Who knows? That'd be a good fit for them. They have a deep threat. So yeah, it'll be really interesting, and it's my favorite time of the year is the free agents, and then we got the combine coming up here in Indy very soon, so we can see all the draftees working out and trying to secure home in their NFL future. So exciting time in the NFL.
Joey, what about you? Or any players sticking out? Is Mike Evans coming back to Tampa Bay?
Yeah,
What's
I
going on?
think honestly, man. Obviously, I know I'm a Tampa Bay fan, diehard. Mike Evans is true to the core, man. I think he would retire before he thinks about leaving Tampa Bay. He has records with Tampa Bay, and he's done a lot for this team. Uh, yeah, I don't see him going anywhere. If he does stay, which he could possibly retire, I hope not. It doesn't look like that. They're gonna pay him. Him and Baker click, and the Bucks just had a little off season, and it could be, I'd say a big part of it is Mike Evans' injury. He's injured most of the season. Um, Sucks because he almost broke Jerry Rice's receiving record. Um, yeah, that ain't gonna happen now. But yeah, I think Mike Evans is gonna stay. There's no reason for him to leave. First time Bucks have had a little slump in like 5 years, so I think he'll be all right. I think he'll stay, man. We'll pay him.
He did just announce. I saw it on ESPN on Twitter, or on X, I should say, that he is coming back for his 13th year.
Yeah, so there you go. No, he's not. He's not gonna retire. But hopefully he has a healthy season, and hopefully the Bucks can get it on track, man. But yeah. Well, so what's going on, Mikey, with these Indiana Bears, as they say?
Yeah, so passed through the Indiana House, and looks like everything's set up. They were flirting with Illinois about getting stuff done with the city of Chicago, but it doesn't seem like they held off talks, and then now it passed through the House in Indiana. So looks like Hammond, Indiana is going to get probably, I mean, most likely it's going to be the Bears. I think it's only 25 minutes away from Chicago. It's right off the highway. It's going to really be great for the area, and they're going to build up a lot. And but I think they'll still be called the Chicago Bears. What do you think about it, Joey?
Yeah. I mean, as you said, it's going to do a lot for the area. Hammond and the Gary area, it's all industrial, kind of ran down. A lot of poverty going on. So I think with all the investors coming in and contributing to the city, I think it'll get gentrified. Jesus Christ, bro. I knew it. Oh, man. You ain't shit.
Be great.
You don't want to get nicer, T?
Joey's not wrong, man. It's rough up there. Mike Jack from up there, if he could come back, he would tell you that, it's a rough looking area up there. So I think a little bit gentrification might need done. But I've also heard that, they've been trying for 5 years to renew something with the city of Chicago. And I heard Soldier Field was on its last leg. Seen too many ass whoopings, now it's falling apart. This could be a great move, and this could bring a great energy for the franchise and build off of the end of what they had going last year. Things could be looking great for the Bears.
Yeah, they still have the lease there for, I think, till 2033 or something. So it's going to be a hot minute. But it's going to be a dome, and if they want to host the Super Bowl, especially in the North, you got to have a dome. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's been a long, long time since Chicago hosted.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Soldier Field, right there off the lake, it gets cold as shit. Even in the summertime, it's breezy. So,
Yeah.
that's going to be a relief on them because, hey, shout out to you Chicago Bears fans. Y'all, it's season ticket holders and all. Y'all sitting out there through those -10 games, what's really like -40 with that wind chill up there. Hey, salute to y'all. Y'all are some diehard fans.
Man, y'all been doing that and been watching them boys get their ass whooped for years. I don't know how y'all been doing it, but I'm happy to see them collect double-digit wins.
If I was
they
a
did good this
Chicago
season.
fan, I would be happy about it because you get to drive a little bit out of the city. It's going to be a brand new stadium. The parking situation's got to be 100 times better. You get the tailgate and everything. Like, downtown Chicago is not really a great place to do all that, and they're gonna have a lot more room out here, and it should be a better fan experience.
Yeah, man. That's Gary Bears, Hammond Bears, Northwest Bears, Indiana Bears, Chicago Bears. It don't even matter, man. Shout out to Freddie Gibbs. I know he's happy. Gary legend right there. But yeah, that's gonna do a lot. I don't know if y'all know, they got a casino up there. So, hey man, they gonna be rolling in deep. So
Yeah,
shout out to the city.
conflict.
That was a genius move with the investors, and hey man, hopefully they can fix that place up, put some more jobs out there, man. But hey, them being right there in Gary, man, you ain't even gotta go to the concession stand. There's gonna be people selling beer, hot dogs, all types of stuff on the side of the road, man. You ain't even, you ain't even gotta go in and pay $20 for a beer. They gonna be selling them right outside, man. So yeah, shout out to y'all, man. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna do a deep dive into this NASCAR. So y'all know last Sunday had the Daytona 500, biggest race of the year. Your boy Tyler Reddick, 45 baby, 45, Team Jordan baby, 2311, brought home the ring for the Daytona 500. Michael Jordan's first ring, being an owner for a short period of time. Badass, man. Shout out to Tyler Reddick. So how the race went, so your boy Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe's in the front. Ended up getting a little rowdy, couple wrecks in the first stage, and guy Zane Smith ended up coming out on top for the first stage win. It was all kind of dicey, couple wrecks. Stage 2 winner from a caution, Bubba Wallace. Got that stage 2 win, number 23 car. You already know. Team Toyota, baby. And then third stage, bunch of wrecks, a lot of cautions. Ultimately, Bubba Wallace ended up leading the most laps. He led 40 laps. Last lap, there was 2 major cautions. They didn't rule them out as a caution. They let it happen. And long story short, Tyler Reddick got the win. Like I said, this is huge. Not that many people win the Daytona 500. Previously, William Byron has won 2 in a row. He's going for 3. He's pretty damn close. And then everybody knows Denny Hamlin's won it 3 times. Shout out to Tyler Reddick, though. He didn't get a win at all last year. And for him to start off first race of the year with the dub is huge, man. 23-11's going up from here. Now, with that being said, this week we got the Atlanta Motor Speedway race, or as it's called now, EchoPark. This is like another Daytona. This is another anybody can win it type of track. Previous years, it's been a Toyota. Last year's Christopher Bell. It's an interesting track, man. Not too crazy. 1.54 mile intermediate quad oval. It's not exactly a super speedway, but it's almost there. And that will be starting Sunday at 3:00. My predictions, man, I'm gonna have to go with Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace had a heartbreaking defeat at Daytona. I think 23-11 wins this shit back to back. So yeah, look out for that 23 car, man. That's all I got for it.
On the NBA side, they're talking about these potential rule changes for tanking.
Yeah, I like one of the ideas that Adam Silver had with putting the shittiest teams in a tournament style bracket and having a mid-off for the number 1 pick, and they'll kind of just work in order of who made it the farthest within the tournament, and that wouldn't be too bad. I don't mind that. Other than that, I don't really know how you would really solve it too much, especially with some of these small market teams. They're destined to not be good most years.
Well, they're talking about a couple things. Obviously expanding is going to take some players away from each team. with 2 different teams possibly going in to vote this summer out in Vegas and then out in Seattle. But sources with knowledge at Thursday's meeting, as well as the late July competition committee meeting, told ESPN that these concepts have been discussed to curb tanking. Now, a couple of these here. First round draft picks can be protected only for top 4 or top 14 plus selections. Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. They're still working this out. No longer allowing a team to pick in the top 4 in consecutive years, and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. So that's huge too. I mean, you can't load up like the favorite child was there in OKC. Teams can't pick in the top 4 the year after making a conference finals. That's a dig at the Pacers directly. I think that's kind of BS. I mean, we lost our starting center and lost our starting point guard to an injury. So, I mean, stuff happens. We had a lot of injuries at the beginning of the year. Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams, and it's going to flatten the odds for all lottery teams. So it really could be anybody's game. I think they're good suggestions. I would like to see more competition at the end of the year. And I think the great idea is to do like a lottery team tournament at the end of the year, and just however you place is where you pick. So
I would
that just
I would be interested to find out how that would work. Perhaps if another team owns your pick, and you still have to play in that tournament, would you, just like how the Thunder own that Jazz pick, as long as it doesn't fall within the top 8 or something like that. I would like to see how that would work.
that's a whole different issue too.
Yeah,
Then the Jazz would really have nothing to play for in a
yeah,
tournament
exactly.
style. So yeah, that'd be tanking in itself. But you can't. I don't know how you're going to get around the trades that have already happened. I mean, you just probably have to say, hey, you can't trade future picks starting this year, and then starting this year, we're going to start doing this. So
Yeah,
it'll be curious.
I don't necessarily. There's, as much as I would like to see it happen, I don't think that tournament format would pan out too well. There's too many variables, so many things you'd have to change. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, what do you think about it, Joey?
Yeah, it's kind of dicey with the whole doing the tournament, especially if you owe a pick to somebody. I don't know. I just feel like it would be a hassle, a lot of drama, and hell, they might find tanking within that. I mean, you never know, bro. I mean, we don't know what goes on with these backdoor deals, man. They're so slimy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, NBA is just a business, just like any other sport. So, I mean, what's really going on? You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly wondering what the hell the severe punishment's going to be if they keep tanking. I kind of want them to test that theory out. See what's
I
going to
bet
really
they'll
happen.
Might revoke the pick.
freeze draft picks or revoke it, or. But I guess how would you go about deciding what team would get the pick now instead? I don't know.
They
That
just
sounds
pick
like a
it right
lot of
away.
that's a lot of extra shit, man.
Yeah, you never know.
And the Indiana Pacers will not be picking. That's right.
Tanked all year, lost all that money, and couldn't do nothing with it. I'll tell you who I don't want is old boy for Kansas, though, man. That guy, he didn't seem to even care about basketball, and he just he checked himself out of the game last week.
Yeah, I've seen
You know what I'm
that.
talking about? That Darren, what's his name? Peterson?
Darren Peterson.
Yeah. He hit a 3 and he checked himself out. He's like, Coach, get me out. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, it's gonna hurt his draft stock. A lot of people aren't gonna want to deal with that type of attitude. I mean, it's just the way the college is now, man. All these guys are entitled. Some people just show more
Yeah, they're getting
entitlement than
paid,
others.
and
Yeah.
yep.
It's just, they're open about it now, and it's like, look, what you gotta do? Because, back in the day, bro, one and dones weren't really a thing. Now, okay.
Oh, back in the day, you had high schoolers.
Well, yeah, you had high
they
schoolers.
would just.
But,
Yep.
you'd have people, playing a couple of years at least, because coach would put that rotation in where it's like, okay, I'm going to put you in just enough to where you're not going to go first round and you got to stay another year. Because, coaches back then were used to one and dones. But like now, bro, you sit a five-star athlete, he's transferring. He's going to go somewhere where he's going to get all the minutes he wants. You can't tell him he can't play. I'm good.
Exactly.
I'm good. You need me on this team, so you're going to fucking play me, coach. If not, I'm fucking out of here. I mean, that's just how it is now. So, they know nothing they can do to change it, But shout out for them for milking the system, man. Hey, they're millionaires. Who am I? Who am I to them?
Who are you?
Who am I, man? Who are you? Oh, man. But, yeah, we're going to wrap it up right there, man. Shout out to all the viewers watching, sharing, liking, subscribing. It's been a crazy week. Sorry we weren't consistent this week, but me and T Woods are going to get on the stream this weekend, so catch us out on that. And, we're going to bring you some more content. Peace.
Later.
Hey, I'm predicting the future of psyche. Tip-off and kickoffs, it got me excited. I be placing the bet every Sunday. I'm treating this FanDuel like it's my wife. I'm with Twoods, Mikey. You can hate it or love it or like it. I ain't breaking a sweat while I'm placing the bet, cause these picks I got is fire. Tip-off and kickoffs, baby. Tip-off and kickoffs, Tip-off and kickoffs, baby. Tip-off and kickoffs, Tip-off and kickoffs, baby. Tip-off and kickoffs, Tip-off and kickoffs, baby. Tip-off and kickoffs,